Page 50, Jingle Bells. This is the first piece in the book that we play both hands at the same time. Oh, goody. On the previous page, they give you some exercises, the things to do dealing with intervals. You can have fun with that. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me. Other than that, I don't call. I want to concentrate on these pieces of music. I cover all that stuff pretty much in the pieces of music and the discussion I do with them. In Jingle Bells, we're dealing with harmonic fourths and fifths. See, before it was melodic, one note, then another. Harmonic is at the same time. And you'll learn to recognize them in music. In a fourth, one note is on a line and the other's on a space, or a space and a line, whichever. Because if you look at the example of half notes they give across the top of the page, the C and an F, that's a fourth, and you'll see that the C's on a line and the F is in a space, whichever. Just know it's a fourth. You can recognize instantly it's a fourth by looking at it. And the fifth, again, they're both lines or both spaces with a line or a space in between. So those are easy to see. And you play them at the same time. Okay, so in Jingle Bells, let's look this over. It's 4 lines long. Oh, goody. You're playing both hands at the same time. Oh, goody. You got quarter notes and half notes and whole notes all kind of mixed in together. Oh, goody. So one hand at a time. Let's start with the right hand. The third finger on the E. And make sure you can say the names of all these notes. They're the same 5 notes we've been using. Hopefully you've had enough time by now to learn these 5 notes. So you're just going through here. And if you can do that, go ahead and count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You go through the whole piece in the right hand to make sure you can play it and count it okay. Then we do the left hand. Well, the left hand has these, they're fifths, because they're both on spaces and there's a space in between. You know immediately it's a fifth. C and a G. You can look at the keyboard and see that it's a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the fingers you're using is 5 and 1. You put your hand in that position, these fingers are down, and you lower the hand gently. Let the wrist collapse a little. And they're all whole notes. You're going to hold them down for 4 counts. In the next line, it is a D and a G. See, when I have multiple notes like this, I call it a chord. I spell out the chord, what we call spelling out the chord. It is, you start with the bottom note in the chord and you figure it out, and you just take the next note and the next note. You keep doing every note in the chord, go up the chord, figure out each note, you spell out the chord, and you figure it out that way. And that's really mostly what the left hand is doing. It's mostly whole notes. There's a few half notes there in the last line. You can get those, I hope. Then we put the hands together. Here, you're just lowering both hands at the same time. And you got to hold the left hand down. It's a whole note. 3, 4, 3, 4. And you do that all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you work this out. I'm going a little fast. You might need to go slower than that, but work it out so you can play the whole thing, both hands together, no hesitations. Hesitations are not allowed. And even though right now you feel a need to look at the keyboard, I encourage you not to. Try and keep your eyes on the music, because you need to develop a feel for the keyboard. You need to develop a feel of which finger is on which note. For now, I mean, keep in mind the hands are going to move around. So you got to be flexible on this. But just know that when you're in this position, which finger is on which note, without looking down at the keyboard. So you go through and you work it all out like that. Then we can add the dynamics. The only dynamic given is an F at the beginning. That forte, loud. Here, play it loud. I'm going to add some more challenges on these dynamics a little later on. Right now, we're just need some experience of playing the hands together. This is the time where I would also encourage you to go ahead and go start doing my scale video on C major. 1 octave up and down. Learn the scale. Just like I explained it all in the video. Do it as I explained it in the video. Learn the C major scale. It will help you out a whole lot as you start progressing into more difficult music. So you go through and learn this, and when you're ready, let's play it together slowly to make sure. Now, if you have to, when you're doing both hands, if it's hard for you to hear all that, then play it with me one hand at a time and make sure that hand is correct, and then you can try the hands together. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's try this out. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.